going to introduce you to Ms. Patti Hewitt.
All righty. Hello, everybody. Good evening, Democrats. Wow. All right. There's a lot going on these days, and we're all feeling it. But I'm glad that you're all here. I'm glad everyone is here. And I thank you so much for having an interest in the work that I am doing. So I wanted to introduce you to the Coastal Georgia People's PAC. It is a political action committee, a 527E committee, which means I can accept unlimited funds, and I will use those funds to empower local candidates in our rural counties. That is what I'm going to use these funds for. So think about people that are running for city council, county commissioner, tax commissioner, school board, right? Coroner, all these judges, things like that. These are the kind of candidates that I'm looking for, especially in our rural areas. So what is the origin story of this? If I can get this to move, there you go. So you all know that I was the Democratic nominee in 2024. And my platform was all about the working people of this district. And my vision was that if we could flip this seat, right, this congressional seat, it would turn a switch on to the Democratic political power in this area. In the software industry, you call it the big bang. You're going to do a big bang, which means you're going to do it all at once. Well, that didn't work out. That didn't happen. So I lost the race, but I didn't lose my vision of where I wanted this party to be in this district. You know, I've been in this district for 10 years now, working in the political party in various roles. And so I wanted to make sure that that work continued. I wanted to make sure that the relationships that I earned, the people that I knew, the contacts that I made, the network I had now would not disappear, as it does with many candidates that run races and then they leave. And everything they built goes with them. I didn't want that. I wanted what I built to not only stay here, but to expand and to grow. And one of the things that I learned about running for office was the first, second, and third most important thing for any candidate to have is money. You have to have funding. DeFoncio is just enthusiastically shaking his head. You all know you have to have money to run these races. Even small races, especially small races, because often people that run for local office are not wealthy people. We want people that are representative to run for these offices. We want young people. We want disadvantaged people. We want people coming out of the projects. We want people from different communities to run, and they may not have the resources to run. I want to break the environmental grip that money has on these races so that good candidates can come forward that may not have the funding to fund their campaigns themselves, especially for these local offices. So that is what 2 months of heavy thinking happened after the campaign. So for the past few months, this is what I've been working on, and it is launched. It is now live. So again, the vision is to build a stronger, more resilient Democratic power base in this area across coastal Georgia by helping to fund local candidates, by encouraging that diverse range of candidates to run, and also, I think equally important, to educate voters that the Democratic candidates are well-funded, supported, and running competitive campaigns. Right, Jay? That's what we want. We want the voters to see our candidates as competitive, to see us out there with billboards, with advertisements, with direct mail, so that they can see that, hey, instead of seeing one person show up at an event, they actually see that that person has backing. You know, one of the most interesting statistics that was shared with me a few months ago was that in 2024, the Republican Party spent $2.4 million on races in Georgia. And the Democratic Party spent nothing on races in Georgia. And now that is changing. That is beginning to change, not just through my work, but the Democratic Party is also changing and trying to expand their services and their support of candidates, and we wish them well. We want them to be able to do that. So I'm not going to go into too much in this district because you all live here. You know, this is a slide for people that may not be that familiar with it, but I'm concentrating in this area now because, of course, this is where I built my support and my contacts and my network. But long term, what I foresee is that by creating this platform and this framework for local candidates, this is the first time we've had a PAC that really just addresses local candidates. There isn't one like this in the state. Can we propagate this into other areas? Can we take what we're learning here into other rural areas? And that's the intention, is to kind of incubate it here, incubate this concept here, and then move it out into other areas in the state, so that we really are beginning to build a statewide party. We all know about the historical power structure here. We have not been led by a Democrat in this area since 1993. Doesn't that look sad? Geez, that is a long time ago. And of course, we do have bright spots. We have Chatham County, which is, I'd say, 95% Democratic now, 90%. Yeah. But it is moving in that direction. We still need some work in the State House and State Senate. We're still way below our representative numbers. We should be higher than that. Of course, we have Glynn here. You guys are definitely a bright spot, but you also have, you know, a lot of independent candidates here. So you have that kind of dynamic that's a little unusual here. And then the rest of them are pretty much Republicans. So that's the challenge we face. We have this weak bench. We have weak political networks around the county, around this. And it results in these smaller candidate pools because candidates see candidates running without any support, and they're like, well, I don't want to do that. I don't have the money to do that. Nobody's out there helping me. Well, that's what we want to change that dynamic. I also wanted to point out that I've been tracking the compounded annual growth rate. Let me see if I can find where is this on here? Oh, it's not showing up. As of 2024, our compounded annual growth rate from 2018 to 2024, we're now in negative turnout numbers, and that's not the trend we want. We want to see that. We want to see that go green again. Now, I do have partner organizations that are working with me, so the idea here is to have support for funding, support for the candidates, and support for the campaign, right? 3 discrete channels of support activity. So the funding will be through fundraising, and we will be talking about that. I am also partnering with Her Term, who is an organization that provides support services directly to candidates. So all of my candidates will be supported through Her Term. And they provide mental health networking events, training, things like that, place that the candidates can go to be with other candidates, a safe space, and that they can help them with their candidacy. I used their service when I was running. It was very meaningful to me, so I'm very excited about that. This will be provided at no charge to the candidate. So they will have access to a support group and to an individual personal psychologist for the extent of their campaign, to work with them and help them, come through whatever issues they're having, or maybe help them navigate. You know, you run into complicated, fraught issues when you're on the road, and it's great to have somebody to talk through those things, how to handle those. And then I'm also have a partner with Necessary Trouble. They are a group out of Atlanta. They will provide get out the vote resources, so they are going to do postcards and phone banking for our candidates. However, I will be organizing a field group to actually go out and do door knocking for our candidates. That I'm going to have to do here, obviously. But so they'll be doing postcards and phone banking. And I also have access to Vote Builder. How about that? So I'm very grateful for that. so that we can pull the lists and other things that we need to provide for necessary trouble to do that work. So they're waiting for qualifying to be over, because once qualifying's over in these city races, we got to hit the ground running, because there's not much time between, you know, the end of August and November 4th for these races this year. So so far I have 3 candidates for races this year, and I'm looking for more. One will be out of here in Glynn County. Felicia will be supporting her. What are our financial goals? So we're just beginning. So we are here at the beginning of our journey. Our first year fundraising goal is $25,000. We are more than halfway there. Second year goal is $75,000. That will be for 2026. 95% of all funding I receive will go directly to candidate efforts. There's no full-time staff. I am not being paid, and there's minimal overhead. So we're trying to get every dollar that we can back to these candidates and back to these races. I want to encourage the people of the 1st District to be the main funders of this. I don't want national funders, even though I'm going to take them for the good, but I would like to see our donors here invest in because I want to begin to connect donors directly to candidates. Donors that are interested in specific races and specific issues and would want to work with specific candidates. And this way we're building a donor class, a participatory class. And these individuals, these candidates that are running, will have the opportunity to build relationships, right, DeFoncio? That's how you raise money. You build relationships. They get to know you. And so that's important, because I'm hoping that some of these people will want to run for higher office, and they're going to need these. So this is what we're doing. We're building, you know, a pipeline. Think of it as a pipeline where if people want a pathway to higher office, they have it. And if they just want to stay a member of their local government, they can do that too. Nothing wrong with that. So we want to invest in this democratic power base through candidate resources and support, local marketing and events, and voter outreach and GOTV. And that really is what Coastal Georgia PAC is all about. Now, I have a matching grant program going on, a $5,000 grant. Every dollar I raise now is doubled to $5,000. So if you're interested in making a donation, or you can connect me to someone, a business owner or someone who is a philanthropist in this area, I would very much appreciate it to get those contacts and contact people, because I want to hit that $25,000 goal, and we're pretty close to doing that. So we've already raised $15,000, so I need $10,000 more, and we'll be at our goal. And what that money will allow us to do is not only, so for city races, just to give you an example. So for a city race, let's say Jessup, right? I have a candidate in Jessup. Under $1,000, I can blanket her district with her signs, blanket them with her signs, right? And that still leaves money left over to put up a nice big billboard right in the main area to talk about her, and do a direct mailing to her, and that will still keep us within legal limits. And that's how impactful this could be. That candidate will never have the resources to do those. They will never have the resources to put up. Now, they may be able to buy some signs, but they're not going to be able to blanket signs. They're not going to be able to put up a billboard. They're not going to be able to do the advertising and organize the get out to vote that we will be able to do. So I'm very excited about that. So I encourage you, if you cannot donate, if you know someone that can, I do have some cards. Again, I'm not spending a lot of money on things, so I have business cards, which I'll be happy to pass out when I'm done. And that is it. And it's really, this is going to be up to all of us to create something here that is long-lasting, that has a framework. The other interesting thing we're doing is, first of all, I wanted to say Rabbi Rachel Bregman says hi to everyone. And she is going to be creating a spiritual support group for our candidates. So that'll be the first time we've tried this. The individual, she's going to be running it from here, but we will also be inviting candidates from her term and also candidates from the Fighting 50 to join that spiritual group. So wish us luck with that. It's something a little different. I'm very excited that Rabbi Bregman was open enough to try this and see how this went, but it'll be something really unique that we can offer our candidates because personally, it's quite a journey. It's quite a journey. Would you say? Yes, it is. So with that, I just want to say thank you again, all of you, for your support, your continued support. I hope this is exciting news for you. I hope it shows you that we really are, the Democratic leadership in this district is really interested and wants to do the work that needs to be done to rebuild our power base. Yes, ma'am.
My question is, that most of us are not carrying checkbooks much anymore.
Yes.
We're always with Visa and MasterCard.
Yes.
Are you guys going to do anything where we can charge?
Oh yeah, well that's, I'll give you my Act Blue. I have it on a card.
It has to be through Act Blue?
Oh no, you can send a check. There's a post office box if you want to write a check.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Cards.
Like if
well you can do a card on Act Blue.
I know, but
What if you don't want to use that?
yeah.
I don't have any, I
You
have,
guys weren't gonna do
unfortunately I
what
don't.
is that thing that
There's a Venmo, you got what's the other one?
I know, but I don't have those things.
No,
So
but
there's,
I mean, I'm thinking that's something you might want to be thinking about.
Oh, I
Like when
see.
you go to an art and craft
Yeah.
fair, not everybody carries cash anymore.
Right,
And they whip out the little machine
Sure.
so you can charge it.
Sure.
I'm telling you, that would
yeah.
help in a lot of situations.
Okay. Well, I will definitely, I'll put it on the list of things to do. So thank you, I really appreciate that. I definitely do. Yes, ma'am.
Patty, thank you for putting that back up. I was going to ask you to do that. One of the things that you said that I really appreciated the way you said it, that during your campaign, the relationships you earn, you don't take things for granted. I really appreciate that about you, about your style, about, anyway. We are really missing out that you are not in DC for us. So I retired and my brains fell out of my head. What was that compound thing that you said? The compound?
So I've been tracking the Democratic turnout rate. How many Democrats are we turning out in this race? So I went back to 2018 to see, are we building our Democratic turnout or are we losing Democratic turnout? And I do it on a county by county basis, and then I average it out for the district. And right now we're -1. So that means our Democratic turnout was weak last time, even though we had more Democrats voting. So, it's complicated. Yes.
We did, but in Glynn, we did hold our own.
Yes.
And we did increase the number of turnout.
Yes. But you were one of the few counties that did. Yes.
And unfortunately, it's still not enough.
No, it isn't enough. We have to remember that in most of these areas, except for Chatham and Liberty, I would say, we have to appeal to Republican voters. We have to. To win these races. That's just a fact.
We have about 50-50.
You do.
It's our turnout. If our base turnout,
on base turnout, we could carry Glynn County.
we win.
Well, so far, it looks like it's something that in all areas we can't rely on. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned something about the number of independents running.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in that because we do find that, last year, for example, some people we expected that would run as Democrats, they tried to run as independents. Did you find, is that because they were trying to appease to both parties or because you felt they were elected?
Most of the time when I run into people who want to run as independents, that's why they want to run as independents, because they want to be able to not identify with either polarizing party. The problem in Georgia is that it's very difficult to run as an independent. They've made it purposely very difficult to run as an independent. Yeah, so that's hard. But I understand it's a strategy, and I respect people's journey this is their race, and they can run it as they see fit. It's still a democracy. We haven't lost that yet. We haven't lost that yet, not yet. Yes, Vicki.
I believe the 2025 election is going to be people running as nonpartisan.
Yes, those are city races.
Yeah, so do you have any in this area that are not nonpartisan, or is this a year that's kind of an off year?
All races this year are nonpartisan. They're all city races all over the district, and those are all nonpartisan. There may be, Jay, wasn't there a special election somewhere? Didn't we have a special, we might have had a special election somewhere. And that,
And the PSC race is a partisan race.
right, that is a partisan race. That one is a partisan race, yes. But the local ones this year are not. Now, 2026, some of them are still nonpartisan, like school board races, but most of them are.
Yeah, the nonpartisan races here, we are supporting the candidates that are running because they do lean so far to Democratic side. So
Yes.
we're not looking to run anybody against them.
Understood, yes, yes. Now, the candidates that I'm supporting right now are from Port Wentworth, Jessup, and Glynn. I'm expecting a couple more from Long County. Not Long County, a couple more from Wayne County. And that's kind of what it looks like. So I had estimated this year, my first year, I'd have 4 to 6 candidates would be what I would have.
So these are nonpartisan candidates?
Yes, these are nonpartisan.
But you still support them?
Well, because they're Democrats. I mean, we know what they are.
Nothing is nonpartisan.
That's right. We know that they're nonpartisan.
I know, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that, so you're not expecting, I know they can't say which they are, so you.
No, but they will be, but when they disclose our donations, they will disclose they come from our group. And I've had some candidates that tell me, I don't want to be exposed.
That's the question I had.
Yes. I've had a couple of candidates tell me they don't want to be, and that's fine, that's their personal decision, no problem. You know, I wish them well, and I want, if I told them as I do events and stuff, they'll still be invited, you know, but I'm not going to invest anything in their campaigns or invest any time in their campaigns. But that's their choice, and that's okay, I respect that.
That's the clarity I was.
Yes, yes. Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to say that, I think having Rabbi Bregman will be fabulous. I know her and I've known her for years, and the nice thing about it is that even though she's a religious leader, she's more of a spiritual leader.
Yes.
So you don't have to worry
Yes.
about that leaning one way or the other. It's totally not like non-denominational.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. And the other groups I've talked to around the state, they're going to be sending, they're happy about it too. It's something new and different, and I think it'll be very worthwhile. People will get something out of it. I know I got a lot out of my work with her term when I work with them. Yes, sir.
I didn't clearly hear what Olga said when she was talking about.
Oh, okay. Olga, there was, this gentleman didn't hear exactly what you said about,
The municipal races this year, we are supporting them. We're not running anybody against them because they're Democrats. So we, you know, they're not gonna say, but they all lean Democrat.
You said something about school. The school boards are not
No.
nonpartisan. The school
No,
boards
school
are.
boards-
it depends on the county.
Right, well, this county, they are.
They are, yeah, in Bryan County they are too, but in Chatham they're not, right? They're nonpartisan. In Liberty County they're really, the partisan school boards, I think there's only about a half a dozen or so in the state. There's not that many. Oh, there's 12? Jay said there's 12, so not many in the state. Questions? Zach?
No.
Okay. Questions? Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here.